Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind, Season 7. Let's watch.
Out that it's me, not you. And you're just so much more than I feel like what people think of you.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I'm in love with you.
All right, so that was edited, but the way that it was edited, it comes across as fishy. Who knows? He could be sincere, but of the expressions of love or affection in the pods, that was one of the most lackluster or non-believable, if that's a word. But it could be sincere. Some people just express themselves in ways that look insincere. So who knows? But let's see what happens.
I'm in love with you.
Now, in the edit, she has said to Leo that Leo is her number one, meaning that Nick is her number two. And earlier, she broke up with Nick, right, because she thought that he was not ready or that he was insincere. She had believed the other women in the lounge. He was about to go home, and then she learns that Leo, her number one, also is dating Brittany, and so she starts to panic. It's hard to know what that panic was. Was it a panic of, I am not sure what I want, I'm confused, I truly was into two people, and if one is unavailable, then I should go with the other one? Or is it gamemanship of trying to make it to the next phase? I don't know. Then she gets Nick back, and then she tells Leo, you're still my number one. And you're thinking, well, why did you have Nick come back? Yeah, maybe Nick is, a very close second, or maybe Nick is a very distant second, and she just needs... Now, there's another version where she doesn't want to be alone, and it doesn't have anything to do with gamemanship. It has everything to do with the typical things that we do in life when we are desperate, right?
I think it's love, and I'm in love with you.
Yeah, it's not convincing. It could be real, but it's not super convincing.
It's scary because I have you and someone else who was into me, and I didn't know what to do, and I was very confused, and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Okay, so she's doing that thing where she's rapid talking, saying a lot of things in a short amount of time. She's saying, there are two people who are into me. Nothing in that string of sentences is a comment on what she wants. I wonder if she doesn't really know what she wants, if she is just reacting to if people like her or not. It kind of has that look to it, which could be a product of early childhood relational trauma, meaning that if you're treated in a certain way as a very young person, you don't have a connection with your emotions, and therefore you don't have a connection with your needs or your wants. Or she was treated in a way that taught her that she didn't really matter, her wants didn't matter, or that her wants would be punished, and therefore she actively suppresses them or something. Or she's young, and she just doesn't really know what she wants. She hasn't had enough experience to know that she should be paying attention to certain things.
It's scary because I have you and someone else who was into me, and I didn't know what to do, and I was very confused, and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I didn't know what I wanted.
I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and yet you dumped Nick pretty quickly. But I'm guessing that's true. Most people, vast majority of people, don't want to hurt other people's feelings. Whether or not that bears out in your behavior is another thing. And, it could just be that she is legitimately interested in both, and she just doesn't know what to do. I'm going to assume that's what it is.
I feel the same exact way.
I feel the same exact way. So we get from him, I love you. And then we get, well, I don't know what to do because there's two people into me, but I feel the same way. Okay. When you contrast that with the way that Garrett and Taylor talk to each other, it's really a lot different. It could just be that they're just not poets.
Crazy. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
I do love you. And I figured it out today.
I think I did too.
Did she figure it out because he said that he loved her and she is just going with that? Did she figure it out because he said he loved her and that moved her? That's possible. Or did she figure it out earlier before he said that and her feelings are independent of him saying that? Although he's basically been saying that for a while now, that she is the only one for him.
You don't know how good that makes me feel right now. This is probably the first time in my life I think I know I've been romantically in love.
Look at us.
Right. He said that earlier. He said, I've never been in love before. So he's saying, this is the first time that I've had this feeling. Okay. A lot of questions. Does he know the feeling well enough to know that the feeling is happening? Maybe he did feel love before, but he's just retconning it, as a lot of us will do, because it didn't go well, or we're just remembering a different reality. Is he cut off from his feelings? Is he incapable?
Look at us. Look at us. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We're gonna be the cutest fucking couple.
It doesn't matter if we're cute, Nick.
I didn't say it like that.
I know.
I just had this thought that a lot of YouTubers and people just in general will look toward body language as a way of detecting whether or not someone is telling the truth, or as a way of determining what someone is thinking really on the inside. There is a lot of pseudoscience in this practice, and there's a lot of pseudoscience in eye movement stuff. Neurolinguistic programming being one of the schools of thought that has no data, or extremely dubious data to back it up, and a lot of data that refutes it. There are things that we can perhaps hypothesize or speculate based on body language. Of course, when I'm watching the show, I'm absorbing that consciously and unconsciously, and that's informing my reactions and the things that I say. I'm never diagnosing. I'm never saying anything with certainty, of course. Maybe that annoys people. I don't know. You should know that any system that claims to be able to read minds or detect lies, whether it's body language or eye movement or a polygraph test, you should know that the overwhelming data demonstrates that none of those systems are accurate. Maybe they're accurate 55%, 52% of the time or something, meaning that it can detect a lie a little bit better than chance, a little bit better than just flipping a coin. And there's a lot of thought, or a lot of things that I could say to this. A lot of the tests are very quick, right? Whether it's a polygraph or body language. Can we as humans get better at detecting lies if we spend more time with someone, if we know them better? When you have kids and they start lying to you, sometimes it's extremely obvious. If you have a partner that is lying, sometimes you'll have a gut feeling or something like that. It's not a slam dunk indication, of course. And if someone wants to lie to you, or if someone wants to lie to a police officer, or if someone wants to deceive on a show like this, and they're even halfway good at it, then they likely will be successful. And a lot of people look like they're lying when they're not. A lot of people claim they can tell someone's lying when they have no data. Sometimes they're just randomly right. A broken clock is right twice a day. And it is a bit of a coin flip sometimes, right? Because like in this situation, there's a chance that both of them are faking it to get to the next phase. And there's a chance that one or both of them are sincere. And, people will make their claim, and then whatever happens later, they'll just shoehorn the data into that conclusion, or they'll just forget that they made that prediction. I just want to say that there's a lot of claims out there, and if you're watching some of those YouTube channels for entertainment and they provide some level of entertainment or interest or education, I'm not going to refute that at all. Some body language YouTubers actually will be very careful about their claims. They will present research and their own opinions, and then they'll look at body language and they'll say, well, sometimes that means this and sometimes that means that. Speculation, da-da-da. And that's responsible YouTubing, responsible commentary, claiming. So, there are some out there, but in my anecdotal experience, they're on the rarer side of things. Certainly, there's a lot of people in the audience that claim that they know things are happening, and we just don't know. That's the beauty of life, and why I love being a therapist so much. If it was concrete, then it would get boring. And this is just one of the topics, right? Truthfulness, or detecting lies, or the consequences of lying, or the motivation of lying. It's just one of a million different things that therapists pay attention to. And it's just such a fascinating thing. I'll never live, even if I lived 500 years, I would still have so many unanswered questions about humans and the human condition, about myself, and about what makes us happy and why we do the things that we do. It's a wonderful thing. And we can just appreciate that there are just massive question marks along those lines. It's the mystery that keeps us coming back, right? As is love. People that try to systematize love, or the finding of love, are silly. It's a magical thing. You just can't put it into a box. It's why we have art and poetry and music and novels and reality television.
She's my girl. She sleeps in my. It's so
You're a dork.
Yes. Let's be weird together.
I like that, because I need someone who can handle my weird.
I'm so weird.
I was going to say, the only way one can handle someone else's weird is by being weird.
Exactly.
So, if I'm yours, feel free to treat me like a piece of meat, because I think it is so sexy.
All right, yeah. Okay. What does he mean? Nothing wrong with that. But what does he mean by that?
In what way?
In everything. It is so sexy to feel wanted.
You want to feel wanted, and I want to feel wanted.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I know, Monica.
Yeah, I think he is possibly talking about BDSM, whether he knows it or not. For a lot of people, the dominatrix activity, if you will, or the kinds of play, or just the kinds of preferences that you enact in the bedroom, can involve wanting someone to fully manipulate your body the way that the other person wants you to be. And that can be very appealing to people, because what it shows is that the other person really wants you, and for them to have preferences. Okay, I want like this. I want you to do that. I want you. This is where I want you. This, and you just get to sit there and experience the fact that your partner. I'm trying to figure out what language to use. As a professor and as a therapist, I am free to use all sorts of language, but on the internet, I don't know what. I think you get the point.
Will you marry me?
I will, yes, Tyler.
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe this?
No.
So we have our second couple that are engaged, meeting in the hallway, Tyler and Ashley. Ashley A, right? Because there's another Ashley. And what do I think about them? Well, we don't have much information about them. There hasn't been any drama at all. So that could mean that they're another Brett and Tiffany, or it could mean that they are another from second season. Nick and Danielle. Because from my memory, the second season, Nick and Danielle didn't have any drama in the pods. So I'm guessing you know the answer to that, but I don't. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You really, really do.